Hi there, Chef Michelle Bernstein here. Who wouldn't want to lower their food bill? Easy answer, nobody. That's who. I want to lower my food bill, so today I will show you with recipes that may do just that. Join me today for meals under $35, next on SoFlo Taste. I'm so excited. Welcome, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and welcome to the Goya Kitchen at the Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove Showroom, Miami. Right smack dab in the middle of the Design District, our bright and shiny new home. Are you looking for money-saving ways to feed your family or yourself? Well, that's a dumb question. Of course you are. We all are. But it still has to be good, right?
Right, Chef.
Well, you are watching the right Saturday morning food show because that's exactly what I'm doing today, giving you meals under $35 that still taste good. And if you can do that, well, maybe next thing I can tackle is curing the common cold. Well, let's get going and let's get cooking. I am making a zucchini and lemon Parmesan risotto that is less than $35 for a family of 4. Zucchinis are always around. The first thing I'm doing is really getting this rice toasty. It's up to you what rice you want to use, but I'm toasting it in a nice amount of olive oil with just a touch of butter. To that, I'm now going to add my shallots and a little bit of garlic and stir that around a little bit. Always need some aromatics for flavor. Risotto rice becomes so much creamier when you work the grain and starch in oil first. Now that I can smell, it's so fragrant, the garlic and the shallot, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of dry white wine. This wine was about $6 a bottle, nice and dry wine. So to my right, I have some purchased chicken broth, unless you want to take your chicken stock out of the freezer, like I like to do, and get it nice and hot, bring it to a boil, bring it down, keep it on a nice simmer because you want all the liquids that go into your risotto to be nice and warm so you don't stop the cooking process in between. You always want to work your starch. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. So I'm about at that point where I can go ahead and add my first few ladles of chicken broth. I'm actually going to lift up this hot stock and bring it over, and I'm going to allow for about a 1/4 inch above the top of the rice. Never walk away though. You have to be on the stove for 20 minutes. Obviously you don't have to stand on top of it, but you do want to be near it. So while this cooks, give it a stir every once in a while. Move over here and start grating your zucchini, which I've already started doing. You want to grate it on a box hole grater. I like the larger hole on the box grater because I like to really feel the zucchini, and so you're going to grate that. And for cheese, you can use your favorite, either Parmesan or Pecorino. There's some great American Parmesans that are less expensive than the fancy Reggianos of the world. Okay, so keep stirring. We're about, I would say, 5-10 minutes into the cooking of our risotto at this point. So right now is when I'm gonna go ahead and add all of this zucchini right in here. So this is a lot of zucchini. I love it. I think this is great to add in here because it will turn not only a lovely green color, but it'll also have that delicious kind of delicate sweetness that a zucchini has. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this in. Grate a little bit of lemon into it, and when you come back, we're gonna start on our next dish, which I'm really excited about. I'm coming to you from the Goya Kitchen at the Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove Showroom in Miami, in the Design District. It's the new home of SoFlo Taste. This showroom is wonderful. It's a wonderful place to explore Sub-Zero refrigeration, Wolf ranges, and Cove dishwashers. All a pleasure to use. The showroom is located at 3711 Northeast 2nd Avenue in Miami. Make an appointment. Call them 786-461-3907 or just walk in. The Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove Showroom Miami at subzero-wolf.com. Elevating every moment in the kitchen and beyond. Come right back to SoFlo Taste.
Come back to SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at the Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove Showroom, Miami, here on Local 10.
We are here at Fuse Specialty Appliance and Plumbing, and we're going to show you how they can help you build your dream kitchen. We are here with Mike Robertson, managing partner of Fuse Specialty Appliances, and he's here to tell us all about their premier partnership with Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Mike, take it away.
We have 7 showrooms serving the South Florida market. Our sales team will typically sit with somebody for an hour or more, walking through the different appliances that are available and different styles and some of the requirements that take place when you choose certain appliances. You might need a water line somewhere, you might need a gas line somewhere, you might need the cabinet to be made a certain way in order for you to look as good as it looks here.
All things I would not think of. Like, I walked into this showroom, I'm like, I want that, but I would never think about all those details.
We have a primary warehouse that serves the East Coast out of Deerfield Beach, and we also have another warehouse in Fort Myers, about 125,000 square foot of appliances. Lots of appliances. I can promise you if it's something that should be stocked, we probably stock it here.
Gorgeous. It's beautiful. Is there anything anybody else should know about the showrooms or how the store works or what clients can expect?
The most important thing to remember when working with us is that we view ourselves as a partner of yours in your process of building the home. So we want to make sure that you're able to make your dream come true of building that kitchen that you want and building that home that you want and having it all come together. Our goal is to be a partner to you, the builder, you, the trade partner, or you, the homeowner.
So Mike, how do people find you guys?
You can find us online at FuseSpecialtyAppliances.com or visit any one of our 7 locations serving South Florida.
Sounds good. You'll want to come in the showroom and see everything for yourself. Mike, thank you so much for having us today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well. Thank you.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and I'm giving you recipes that are money-minding meals. So let's keep going. All right, risotto is doing beautifully. I put in the zests of 2 whole lemons, and we are right to the point of al dente, which is nearly just have that bite. So we're gonna finish it off. I've seasoned it a couple times. It just needs one more time, a little bit of salt. Let's go ahead and add lemon juice to finish with a little bit of butter and cheese. Okay, there we go. That's good. I love a lot of lemon, if you haven't noticed, in food. I just think it's so delicious. Let's add some butter to finish. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the heat. A lot of freshly grated parm. Obviously, this is enough for a trough of risotto. Go ahead and grab our rubber spatula and delicately fold this together. And we will have a beautifully creamy risotto for the end of summer, beginning of fall. Not expensive, but so delicious. It will taste like you're eating in the finest of restaurants. It's just beautiful. I love it really juicy. I hate when my risotto actually sits up. I love it when it falls flat on a plate. Let me show you what I mean by that. When you take your ladle and you see how it falls down on the plate, it doesn't like sit upright. It just keeps like oozing down. That's what I call a great risotto. Okay, so there you have it. Here's our first delicious dish. Top it with a little bit of fresh Parmesan. I'll put that right here. Let's jump into our second. So this is Japanese chicken curry. When I was in Tokyo for a long time, I learned a lot about Japanese curry roux, which is the essential part of making this delicious. So the roux is just the simple way I always make roux here on the show. You melt the butter, you add in the flour, and then with this one, you're adding a very specific Japanese curry powder, and the ingredients are all obviously on our website, and garam masala, another delicious spice. So that is this, and this got cooled, and we just dice it up. So this is like the most important part of making this recipe so incredibly delicious. So you start out just a nice simple oil, and if you want to throw a little butter, a couple pieces of butter are fine. I am using chicken thighs for this one. Obviously, you can use breast if you'd rather. Now, in keeping with my theme today, our friends over at Milam's Markets want me to remind you to go to their website at milamsmarkets.com and click on What's on Sale. There you'll find conveniently what's on sale, including their featured deals and buy one, get one free items, which are great. Visit one of Milam's 6 family-owned and operated SoFlo locations for more savings. Milam's Markets, Miami's family grocer since 1984. Experience the difference. We're gonna start off with cooking some of the vegetables. So we've got a nice amount of white onions and carrots, kind of like any stew would start out, right? I also have a little bit of garlic and ginger, which we'll put in just a minute. I'll just start softening these real quickly. This has a lot of kind of fun ingredients that you would find at your house, like ketchup, honey, soy sauce, a little bit of grated apple, so any kind of apple, but not a Granny Smith because that would be a little too sour. So you're going to want to peel that, and we're going to use the finest hole of a box grater and grate that into this, which adds just a touch of sweetness. These are getting nice and soft. We're going to add some potatoes. I love Yukon Gold, so I'm going to go ahead and throw some Yukons in there. So next we're going to add the chicken thigh, which have been cut up into about, I would say 1 to 1.5 inch pieces. I love when they're approximately the same size as your potato will be. A little bit of either chicken broth or chicken stock. That's up to you. Then as this cooks is when we're going to start adding our flavors to it. I'm not going to add the roux yet, but I am going to start by adding my garlic, ginger, which has been grated on a microplane. Not too much. Nothing is overwhelming, which I love about this kind of curry. And then right before we add the roux, I'm going to go ahead and add the apple and the other more intense flavors. So when you come right back, of course, we're going to start a new recipe, and then we're going to finish this delicious Japanese curry. We are coming right back to the Goya Kitchen here at the Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove showroom in Miami, because I've got one more recipe here on SoFlo Taste, sponsored by Milam's Markets. I have to see you real quick, right? Give me what, 20, 30 seconds? Cool? All right. SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
It's a Milam's Markets Minute. Here's Melinda Harper.
Christy, I'm looking for something a little different to grill this summer. What do you suggest?
If you're looking for something besides steak, I have something I think you're really going to enjoy. It's these new Prime Volare tomahawk chops. Now this is an exceptional type of pork because it's a certified Duroc pork, and the marbling, you can compare it to a steak. So you can grill it and cook it like a steak, and it's gonna have a lot more juicy, buttery flavor. I love pork. And along with these new pork products we also have a selection of hot dogs, sausages, I mean anything you wanna throw on the grill, including some antibiotic and hormone-free varieties too.
That sounds amazing. So how do customers get their summer grilling favorites and their new item?
Well, as you know, you can come by one of our 6 store locations in South Florida, where we would love to see you and give you a tour of the store. But if you can't make it, you can absolutely order online at milamsmarkets.com.
We'll see you here.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, doing my best to lower your food bill and raise your food taste. Back to that food. The chicken and the potatoes are cooked. It's time to add in all the other flavors that we talked about to make this delicious Japanese chicken curry. I've taken a little bit of the chicken broth out. I was a little concerned that the roux would not completely melt in, so I've decided to make it a little safer. I'm going to first combine the roux into a little bit of that chicken broth, add that back into the curry, and then we'll add the rest of the delicious flavoring. So this is the roux, this is some hot liquid. So I'm just gonna combine that together, and while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the flavors into my stew. So remember I told you about the grated apple, so I just used about 1/4 of the apple, a little bit of soy, some ketchup, which by the way makes a really great thickener, and it keeps things shiny. We're using so little you can barely even taste it. A touch of honey, which will calm the flavor of the curry roux that I have working to my right. I'm just going to combine that together. This doesn't really need a lot of heat, so I've turned off the heat completely for now. This roux is now working into this broth, and it's softening beautifully, and the smell is really intoxicating. Just delicious. All right, so little by little, I'm going to start mixing it into the actual chicken and vegetable stew here. And I just need the curry to completely soften. There we go. This I'm going to maintain nice and low, really low, because I don't want to cook out all that delicious flavor I just added. And now I'm just going to use a rubber spatula to make sure that this really gets completely stirred in well. Beautiful. I'm going to let this go just a touch while we jump into our next recipe. I love stir fries. I think everybody does, right? They're so simple. The only thing that you have to make sure you do with a stir fry is to go really fast. So be ready. You want everything cut and everything ready and pretty much set to go before you even throw it into the pan. Because if you go searching for one of your ingredients, you're probably gonna burn, because stir frying is really high heat, low amount of fat, right? So let me tell you about the pork stir fry that we have. This is pork loin. I've seasoned it a little bit with salt and pepper. It's just julienne, nice and thin. I've got some onions, peppers, and Fresnos, which are red jalapenos, but they are without the seeds, without the veins, so it doesn't have any heat. Ginger and garlic, a little bit of oyster sauce, a little soy, Chinese wine for stir frying. It's delicious. So got some of that. And then some udon noodles I thought I'd throw in for good measure. If you want, you can always just do rice on it, but I'm actually gonna stir fry the noodles in. I've got some cornstarch. We're gonna make a slurry in just a minute, but let's start cooking. I've got some vegetable oil to heat up. So the first thing we're gonna do is cook some onion or shallot. This is red julienne onion. Throw some peppers in there. And go ahead and just start mixing these. If you have a wok, great. If not, use a really big saute pan, perfectly fine as well. Now you never want to add your ginger too early or your garlic, because it has a tendency to burn a lot faster. So you always want to start with the onion and the peppers that has a little bit of a less chance of burning so quickly. Next, we're going to add the garlic and the pork into the pan. And again, that was pork loin, which is a little less expensive, or a lot less expensive actually, than an actual pork tenderloin. The loin is larger, it's delicious. You have to cut it a little finer. If you use a tenderloin, obviously, it's a little simpler, but more expensive and a lot more tender. So again, remember, I seasoned the pork with salt and pepper. Now, the more vegetables, the less pork you need, obviously. It also depends on your family and how much they love vegetables. You can throw in some bok choy into this and stir fry it along with the pork. It braises while you make the pork, and it's also quite delicious. Broccoli can also be delicious too. I went a little simpler with this one because it is actually the first pork stir fry that we make together. Next is the spicy stuff, the Fresno chilies. You can go as little as you want or a lot more. Now all we have left are the liquid ingredients, because the ginger goes in now, and we have to make our slurry. So for the slurry, I've got cornstarch here. I've got the tiniest whisk in the world and some water. Let's go ahead and add about the same amount of water as cornstarch into this bowl. And you always want to make sure that you have a well-mixed slurry before adding it into any of your recipes. Get everything else together and ready. I have a pinch of sugar that goes really beautiful with the Sichuan wine and the soy sauce, just so you know, and that's why that's there. So our pork is almost cooked. You don't want to add anything else unless your pork looks like it's about ready. Okay, so last ingredients. We'll add the oyster sauce, which gives it just an amazing flavor. Soy, wine, sugar. Here in SoFlo, sugar always gets stuck to the bottom of my ramekins. And then lastly, to bring this all together, some of this cornstarch mixture. Finally, this has all come together. Look how thick and delicious this is. I'm just gonna fold in the noodles, come right back. We'll see how this all turns out. We're also gonna serve you a little bit of that Japanese chicken curry with some rice. Come right back to SoFlo Taste here on Local 10, the local station. Stay tuned to SoFlo Taste. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste and our show about keeping it under $35. So this pork stir fry came out so good. So I think the secret was to make sure you don't overcook the pork. Keep it obviously fully cooked, but it stays really nice and tender if you don't overdo it. You also never want to sear pork in too hot of a pan. So it was great that it went in after the onions and the peppers. It came out to me pretty nicely. I topped it with a little cilantro just because to me it needed some green, but it doesn't even need it. Lastly, I have this curry is finally finished. So just a little plate or bowl with some white rice and the curry alongside with all of its delicious little pieces of potato and all that flavor. So good. This is like for the soul, you know, it's that kind of dish. I know your weekends are full, and that's why I greatly appreciate you spending some of that full weekend with me. So taste buds, have a great week. Goodbye. Mwah. And good taste. Check, please.